Hi, my name's Helen, this is my channel, Helen Mary Jo. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're returning, thank you. And if you're a Hellsbell, hello. Hellsbell's just a little friendly name for ladies that follow my channel and been with me for a long time. My daughter came up with it as a little kind of, she just like, your ladies are so lovely, so we called them Hellsbells. So today I am doing another flower arrangement. You saw me do the wedding flowers. Well, you may have seen me do the wedding flowers. And today we are getting ready to head off to my sister-in-law's funeral in Kent. And often nowadays, it's no flowers at a funeral. But even if it says no flowers, sometimes I take a small tribute, something that the bereaved family can take home. And I often kind of couch it by saying, you know, take this home and remember so-and-so. So I think that's quite nice. Now, equally, they are very expensive, these floral tributes. And I absolutely don't want to take anything away from florists because I think they earn every penny of what they earn. As I've said before, it's quite a demanding job. But I thought I would just show you what I'm doing today for my sister-in-law, who was actually very good with flowers herself and did do floristry. So I'm starting off with this. These are often called like pew ends because you can tie them and they can lie on the side of the bench in the church and you can display them however. But I find these are quite a useful size and shape for doing something like a funeral spray because they're quite easy to pick up. You can pick them up from here. Now I'm going to do quite a small arrangement relatively, and it will be a double-ended spray. Sometimes I do a kind of fake tied bunch where the flowers go in here and then I put some stems in here and a ribbon here, and then that looks like a tied bouquet, but it's actually in Oasis floral foam. But today I am going to, well, my plan is to do a double-ended funeral spray. Now I have put it on a plastic tray here because of the water that will come out as the stems go into the foam, because obviously they're pushing the water out. I need to get my scissors. I will link these if I can as well because they are just the best scissors. I've got loads of pairs of floral scissors because I did flower arranging, wreath making classes for a while, and so I've got the kind of regular ones that are like this. I'm sure you'll recognise those. They're very good and they've got kind of a little serrated bit here that is good for if you're cutting wires. But these are my preference. So I'm lucky enough, I've got some foliage left over from the wedding that I did the other week. Well, it's not that long ago, is it? Just over a week. And then I just bought some flowers from the supermarket. Now they're not going to be of the same quality that I got from the wholesaler. But, you know, it's just for this one day, really, isn't it? So I thought, you know, she was an elderly lady. Never thought of her as elderly because she had a very young spirit. But I bought some beautiful red, pinks, white, big roses, then some smaller pink roses, and then some spray carnations in pink and white, with the view of doing what I would call a pretty arrangement. So let's hope that is what we end up with. I'm actually going to turn this tray over because I think otherwise it's going to kind of interfere with what I'm... And always when I'm doing this, I start off with the greens, as they're called in the trade, the foliage. And I've got some nice soft ruscus, which flows beautifully. And, you know, it's not rocket science. It's just, as I said before, practice makes perfect. So I don't want it to be too big, but so you find the natural drape of the stem, and then cut it, and then that's actually still going to be too long. I mean, I don't want it to be kind of showy. It's just a tribute, not a competition. I would hate for anyone to think that I was trying to outdo anybody else. And you can see that the way that's gone in, that is draping nicely downwards. And so I simply find something that's got a similar drape, and I will cut all these little stems off, and they will work as fillers further up the arrangement. So put that in. Hopefully you can see this quite well. And you really just keep building this up. I always start with those two long pieces personally. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, that's just the way that I do it. And then you build up this foliage, and the idea is that you should never ever be able to see the floral foam. So that's a nice piece, nice filling piece there. And I'll try and keep the extension, and as we come round, it will get shorter. So it's like a diamond on the end, really. I suppose that's what you're looking for. And this will stay, we're having to go up the day before the funeral because it's a long way from us. And the funeral's at midday, and I couldn't stand the thought of getting stressed on the M25 with morning traffic. Can you think of anything worse, going to a funeral? Yes, I've experienced it, where I followed the hearse into the car park. Not ideal, not ideal at all. So you keep building this up. I'm actually reading a tribute tomorrow from the in-laws, on behalf of the in-laws, their memories, and that's quite tough actually. I'm still actually not able to read it without getting emotional, so I need to read it some more times today to kind of almost numb myself to what I'm actually saying, because I don't want to mess it up. It's hard when you're reading people's memories of their loved ones. Naturally, it is very emotional. I mean, funerals are emotional, and there's nothing wrong with crying. I hate it when people say, oh, didn't she do well? She didn't cry. And I'm like, what's that even mean? You know, like, it's not a bad thing to cry. You're just letting out the emotions. I mean, yeah, that sort of stuff annoys me. I'm a very emotional person. So for me to not cry at a funeral would be a blinking miracle, to be quite honest. And that's even if I don't know the person. It's just when you see the faces of the bereaved and they're so heartbroken. So you can see I'm starting to build that up. It's quite, it doesn't look anything at this stage, because this is kind of almost the background for the stars of the show, which is the roses. So I've got a little bit of eucalyptus here, so I may as well use that. Rob will be delighted. I'm making a right mess. Never mind. It's all for a good cause. And basically, if I put it in that end, I try and put it in that end. And that's handy because I've got 4 bits of eucalyptus. So they will be equally on each side. Oh no, I've got 2 more. Oh, that's actually perfect. That would be my ideal, would be to have 3 each side. So happy days. More luck than judgment, as they say. Try not to put these in too deep, because they will interfere with your other stems as it builds up, obviously, because I've got to put all the flowers in yet. So just using all these little clipped off pieces to gradually go around the side and just fill it. And you know, there is an element, isn't there, of saying, I went to the trouble to do this, you know, for a loved one. And half the time, it's just about having the right equipment and the foliage. I have done this many times just with foliage from the garden. You don't have to buy the foliage. You can use bay or myrtle. All I would say is condition it for at least a day before you use it. Don't try and cut it and use it, because chances are it will die in the Oasis foam before you want it to look its best, you know. So just condition it. And that just means cutting it preferably as early in the morning as you can if you're getting it from your garden, and cutting it and putting it in some tepid water, not stone cold water, so that it can have a good drink, and then snip it again just before you put it into the Oasis. So you can see I'm just building this up quite easily around, and it's coming together. And you will be surprised how quickly this kind of delivers. Always try and make sure there's no leaves down at the lower part of the stem that you're entering into the Oasis, because that will, you know, make a bigger hole than it needs to be, and you'll probably find that your Oasis, that your stem isn't secure. Now this is a nice drapey piece, so that's going in the top there. It's very messy, this job, but equally it won't take long to. Trying to keep it low, because you've got to remember that it's going to be seen from the top more than anywhere else. Then I just need some short little stems to, I mean, I've got more foliage, so I will use some more. I'm just going to just build this up. I will look at the other side in a minute, I promise you. I know you're all probably thinking, don't forget the other side. I quite often use a turntable for this, but it didn't work with the logistics of the two cameras. So Mum's gone home today with all her purchases, so she was a happy bunny. It's so nice to see her, you know, she was very low after being poorly for all that time, which we were all very worried about her, to be honest. But she's come back through like the trooper that she is. And the fact that she wanted to buy some clothes, as her 5 daughters, we were all delighted to see that. So I'm going to just spin that round to make sure that I'm not, because you do obviously tend to focus on the side nearest to you. It's just human nature, isn't it? So I just get a few more stems in there where I can find them. And then I've got some, another 2 of eucalyptus actually. So I'm going to cut those. When you're cutting down like this, you want to cut really, really close to the leaf so that you can use like all of it. Let that go. Because you kind of can't see that that's been cut that way. You should never be able to see a kind of raw edge, cut edge. I mean, I've done a few classes, and I used to be chair of the local flower club, and we had a lot of demonstrators come in, and I actually preferred the demonstrations where they taught you rather than just sort of did displays. I like to understand why they were doing certain things rather than just, you know, them ploughing on to do it. So, got this long stemmed ruscus. I just heard a berry drop on the floor then, which is not ideal, but hopefully I can find that in a second. I will leave the berries on this because we're going to a funeral kind of in the countryside and berries are appropriate, whereas with the wedding being purely green and white, berries were not appropriate. Orange berries, that is. So you can see that's just building up and up and up so that we come across and we've got the low top. Actually, that berry looks like it's about to go, so I won't leave that on there. So now I'm going to concentrate just on this top piece as a Jolly coming from her walk. Hello, Jolly. I'm just filming this arrangement, Rob.
Okay.
Right, so that's the arrangement so far. You can see all that water coming out. I need to lock that up. I don't even know what this box is for. I haven't opened it yet. So get that out of the way. And then similarly to when I did the arrangements for the wedding, I'm going to use a couple of these roses. I bought these 2 days ago, so they've been conditioned nicely. And again, kind of reflect whatever I do one side, I'll do the other side. I wish it was a little bit cooler actually, because I suppose it'll be relatively cool tonight, won't it, in the car? Now I've just twisted that rose around because it was facing kind of downwards, and obviously, as I said, it's going to be low down on the floor, so you want the flowers to kind of be looking up to say hello, and then just stagger the length of these and slightly at an angle to the last one that I put in. Another one of those. It's like a deep red. Deep pink, I suppose, more than deep red, actually. As I say, I'm trying to kind of be even with them, because otherwise it jars the eye, really. So I've only got one more of those. So I'm going to put this one here. And I kind of reflect that on the other side here, you know, in a pink. As soon as you start putting the flowers in, it kind of comes alive. I haven't taken the guard petals off. I haven't been quite as fussy as I would for wedging flowers. But it'll still look lovely. Once I get all of the colours in there, it'll stop being such a kind of regimented display. When you're pushing the stems into the oasis, do try not to push it against a leaf, because it won't hold well and it won't get any water. The leaf will effectively block any water coming up. You can feel, as you push it in, you can feel whether it's gone in properly or not. It's just practice. These are very pretty. I mean, I think these flowers cost me, the bigger roses were about £4.50, I think. The small roses were just £3, and the spray carnations were, what were they? I think they were £2.79 in Lidl and £4 in Waitrose. I didn't have all the colours that I wanted in Lidl. If you're thinking of doing this, I would say just have a go. Even if you just do it, you know, for an arrangement at home the first time, and see. You can buy, I think you can probably get everything you need on Amazon. I will try and find links to everything, and you can take it from there up. It's very easy to get carried away on one side. It was funny because I said to Mum, I was saying to Rob about what shoes is he wearing, because it is a burial tomorrow, not a cremation, which is less common nowadays. And I said to Mum, are you having a cremation? And she said, oh, I don't know, I haven't given it any thought. I said, well, when you get old, let us know when you've decided. And she's 93, I don't know. I think she's going to go on for a while yet, thank goodness. She's got a zest for life. You know, she's been doing Duolingo, I think she said she was on. Oh, I'll get this wrong now and she'll tell me off, but I think she said she was on something like 1900 straight without missing a day. It's incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Sometimes we think she's talking to herself, and because her hearing aids go straight to her phone, we can't always hear what she can hear. Right, so that's coming along nicely. I've got a couple of roses there that I'm going to hold back to see. I'm just going to add these spray carnations in as a bit of kind of just, you know, change it up a bit really. I'm trying to find where the tray is so that I can push against it. And the good thing with spray carnations is that all of these little buds and everything all add kind of texture and variety to the arrangement and give it some interest. I know at my dad's funeral, his funeral chopper was probably the most beautiful funeral chopper I've ever seen, and it actually helped me get through the funeral, staring at the flowers and you know, trying to be distracted. I'm even using that because it's interesting and it's slightly different colour and it gives me some variety. When you push in, you can kind of feel if it's hitting clean oasis or not, and if it isn't, come out and start again. So I see that big hole there, that needs addressing. So I'm going back round here and put some spray carnations in. roses needed there. That's Dolly, not my stomach. I've got Hattie here at the moment because she was on a school trip, a residential thing for a few days over the weekend. They got back really late last night and they don't have to go to school today. So I said to Katie, well, I'll keep her here if you like. And then I said to her, don't have to go to school at all. And she said, no, I want to go to school. I think that's amazing, don't you? I love it when they're so happy at school that they want to go and they don't have to go. Right, almost there. See, it really, I mean, yeah, that has taken a while. But gives you a great sense of satisfaction when you see it. Like this, all dripping everywhere. So I am going to clear up. I've got a few more spray carnations left. I've got loads of foliage. So I am going to clear up and then see if anything else is needed. But at the moment, that is looking pretty good to me. That rose and the eucalyptus having a bit of a row there, but I think I'll sort it out. So, yeah, nice. Okay, I will, if it needs anything, I will do that, and then I will show you a kind of whole photograph of it on the floor, which is where it will be seen, and then I'll show you what I'm wearing if you're interested. So I'll leave it there for now. So we're in Kent after an awful journey, truly one of the most horrible journeys I've ever had to do. And I wasn't in my car, I had to borrow Katie's car because mine's broken. And it started raining and it was awful, but it's a beautiful day today. And if you can have a perfect day for a funeral, this would be the weather you'd order. Bright blue sky, chilly, sun shining, and it's a poignant but lovely day. And it's really nice to see all the family again, which we really don't see very often. I'm wearing the black dress that I got from Esther, which I think is perfect. Black dress, a nice shape, very comfortable, cuffs, just perfect. And I have got a full length slip under it just to sort of make it a little bit warmer. And yeah, so I'm happy with this. And I've got my black suede boots from Duo on, which are perfect as well because it is a burial, so no heels needed. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.